Namaste. It's the spiritual day walker with your tarot card reading for this new moon phase and for the beginning of this eclipse season. So, Capricorn, this is a tabula rasa, and it seems like everything you've built is falling apart. But what if that what you've built was a trial run in a sense? It doesn't have to be that devastating as I make it out to be right now, but it feels like what you've built is being threatened, but it's just going to be reformed. So be aware, it's all good. That being said, it is a general reading, so if the message doesn't resonate with you, drop the message. If it does resonate with you, drop a comment, like, and subscribe. With all that being said, I think you're going to feel quite well after this, right? During this, depending on your perspective. But we're sitting here for you to get a better look at it, get a different perspective on the greater picture so you manage these energies well. Let's see in the DNA spread, we're checking out what the soul wants to integrate into this life and the spirit axis in the middle, and the energies balancing around this. So, with that forecast, I hope you're still with me here. Let's see what your soul wants to experience. There's a Six of Swords in reverse. Well, Six of Swords in reverse. I mean, like, your soul decided it's time to move on from the idea of moving on. That's very interesting. That's something I need clarification on because it's a card of travel. It's in reverse though, so maybe something crossed your travel plans, and that's probably your soul's decision that is like, oh, not yet. Either not yet or not anymore. Maybe you've made up your mind about something like um, you wanted to move into a like to branch out, for example, or to you know move into a different environment, whatever, and something happens that is challenging that stance. Now let's see what is going to happen. In the spot of the nine, that is your challenge, or rather the energy that you're supposed to integrate through all of this experience. And that is the temperance in reverse. That is healing, that is patience. Patience. It's screaming patience to me. Your challenge is patience, but making a move at the right time. Because that temperance in reverse, I mean, like, yeah, it is a challenge, but the real challenge with patience is not just the letting it slide part in the beginning. So it's rather the challenge when to shift gears again. It's like, okay, so if I'm just letting it unfold, I have to trust that when the time is right, I will know, you know? And that is the true challenge about it. For example, like as an anecdote, I was printing T-shirts back in the day with the big machines, right? Screen printing, right? And I would, after like 1,000 pieces per hour running through, I would like zone off and like write my rap lyrics in my head and whatever. And at a certain point, I was afraid that I wouldn't see ruptures in the images anymore because I wasn't focused, because I'd let my mind slide. But what I realized is that every time something changed in the image, I was there spot on. I was like, yeah, wait, whatever thought I was in, I was there, right? So that I was focused, even though I did let my mind wander off. And you kind of have to trust that with the temperance in reverse, where you're like, gotta let this shit happen and trust that when it's time to step back in, you're gonna know, you're gonna be there, you're gonna act, and you're gonna be focused, right? So there's no harm in letting loose a little, um, for the sake of showing some patience, because when that healing is done, you know when to move on, right? And when to step back in again. There's a strong sense I get with your soul deciding it's not time to move away from something yet. You have to be patient. And it's probably largely because the world is rearranging. And like, imagine your spirit guides trying to conspire for you, and you'll be like, yeah, I got it all mapped out. And they'd be like, no, wait, there's something happening. Like, we got to wait for this to fall into place for you to be able to walk over it, you know? Um, and that probably is the case here. Let's see how you're manifesting this, how you're experiencing this, struggling with patience and trusting that it's all working out for the better. Yeah, Nine of Wands in reverse, right? It's yeah, it's you carrying bad experience as like wounds and scars, right? It's like it's tough to trust that it's going to work out if it didn't work out in the past. I get it. I get it, right? And struggling with that self-doubt is like, I want to do it right this time. So you're kind of overly ambitious to do it right, and getting a little like itchy and hasty, and they so don't, just don't, right? The Nine of Wands in reverse also means that it's a problem you're consciously aware of, so you're working through it, right? That's that temperance, that's that healing. When you're addressing a Nine of Wands, especially when it's in reverse, you know that you're addressing it. You know that you want to prove yourself, right? And you know that proving yourself is actually not the most, like the intention with the most integrity, you know. So you know that could be a problem. You're like, you're working through this. And let's see how you're working through this. Like, don't be alarmed. That is something that you are very capable of dealing with, right? It's challenging you in a way that, well, you're an earth sign, right? And like, if earth is turning, spinning around you, you can be a little confused about what's going on. Mm. Well, you've learned so much through these last months that I have like a strong confidence that now you are in the spot of like proving, like improving your leadership skills in a way that you show patience and trusting in your own abilities to know when the right time is to move. So you're dealing with that last bit of doubt that is still there. You're eradicating this, and once this is eradicated, you're going to move on. Maybe with that Six of Swords, maybe that move is gonna um, like, maybe you're gonna travel. Maybe you realize that you wanted to travel for the wrong reasons and your plans would change. Who fucking knows? For now, it is you paying attention to what's happening without losing your fucking mind over it, right? So let's see what is getting you started in this experience, like the internal impulse that you're getting in the spot of the one is the Page of Wands. Page of Wands is your ambition, right? Your ambition of creating something new. It's a new project. It is like, okay, this time I'll like fully commit to it. This time I'm like, I'm going for it. I'm going for what I want, and I'm just like making decisions. And then that Nine of Wands is like, yeah, but do I actually make the right decisions here? Or like, I just get a strong sense that something is hindering you. It's not even yourself. It's not that you are in your own way. It is that life is saying like, nah, not now. I know you want it, but wait a second, something has to fall into place first. Now let's see in the spot of the two how this impulse is is received. It's funny that the page is looking to the outward, so it's looking here, right? So it's not looking at the thing that is receiving its energy, which, since it popped into my head, probably significant. Yeah, there's a Page of Coins. The Page of Coins is the one that does his homework. It's that nerd kind of guy that knows exactly about the numbers, knows about the taxes, and about whatever, how to set things up right. So it seems like you're starting something here, and you want to start something here. It's 2 pages, but it's 2 pages and two different energies, and more prominent is your ambition to go for it, and you're paying no attention to what you need to set in place, or what need to be set in place for this opportunity to be fruitful. It feels like you're wanting to prove yourself and disregarding what you have to go through to do this, right? It's like you just you just want the cake without baking it or whatever. It's like, um, which is cool. Like it's coming from like the want to make it right in a sense, right? And or to win this time, to set it up right this time. But actually more ambitious than careful in this instance, and that's like could be a problem. It's honorable. It's honorable what you want to do here, right? And having that page of wands as an initial impulse, that's cool because it makes you feel very driven and like you got a lot of energy for whatever it is here. But I feel like you have to channel this energy somehow because it's on overdrive if there's a temperance in reverse as your challenge, because it's got to go somewhere, right? And it seems like it's not going into studying your taxes, you know. Fair enough. If I'm drifting off into narratives that don't resonate with you, just feel free to drop the images. It is basically you wanting to start something new, being very passionate about it, but a little too pragmatic in some points, right? Where you're like overlooking things that need tender care. It could be also that a person is representing that in your life that you don't listen to, right? Because you think they're just like too careful, and you're right, they are too careful. They need your impulse just as you need their impulse, right? Because it has to balance. Now, what do you learn from this balancing out in the middle? That's the spot of the three. That is your inside. Three of coins in reverse. Yeah, that is teamwork, and that is teamwork that is delayed. It's like you're not working together as a team. You're gonna realize that, like the two hearts beating in your chest, right, are not working together. You are so passionate to prove yourself that you disregard your own energy, which is earth, right? That is not exactly working out. That's the three of coins in reverse. So this could really be you in regards to team play, whatever, where you're like, last time I was working with the team, it didn't work out. I'm doing it alone now. Fuck this shit. But in that sense, you're kind of disregarding like your own inner nature. You want to be that go-getter, but your core energy is more of that structuring oversight kind of guy. you know you're not you, well, you can be adventurous, of course, right? But you're not that. You've moved on from that, moved past that Sagittarius energy, are more in you're on the top of the hill already, like you're the Capricorn, right? You want the oversight, where like the animals are running, the herds, whatever. You're a little more grounded than what you are making yourself out to be here, and that is probably because you're driven by trying to prove yourself or making shit right or whatever, right? But you realize that something didn't work out or is not working out, not working well together here. And since it's a strong insight in the spirit axis here, you're probably going to realize why. So that would be the advice. Is like, don't just overlook why it's not working. Check out why it is not working, where someone got burned, what they like. Maybe they have made the wrong decisions, but they had actually a keen sense about something. They just interpreted it the wrong way. It's like there's always a truth to everything. Try to level that out, right? The spot of the four, the thing that gives you a sense of stability, a fallback idea. Queen of Cups in reverse. Well, it's not about love, is it? For you, it's about gaining material wealth or more proving yourself. It's about passion. It's about a lot of things. But that Queen of Cups in reverse, I mean, it could also be mommy issues, daddy issues. So whoever gave you that love in the past um, was never satisfied with the way you were doing things. Like, why do I come to this conclusion? Because in the spot of the four, that is kind of determining what what you call home, right? And if a Queen of Cups in reverse is what you call home, that is either a withdrawal of love or an overshowering with love, but not of pure intention, right? Someone that is not exactly mature enough or balanced in their emotionality, right? So you think you need to gain that love by achieving this. That's why you're blinding yourself a little with only seeing that carrot, not seeing the stick, you know? And that could be an issue. What is kind of solving that problem, but solving that problem through erupting into chaos and the spot of the five. The five is for change, but it's dealing with exactly that, with changing something you're attached to, right? And that is in this instance a very good idea. It's the Hermit. You got to learn something. It's the Hermit, and it's not in reverse. It is like you have to take a look at what you need to know to walk this path, right? Find your own inner light, and finding your own true inner light, finding your path means you're not doing this for them. You're not doing it to impress your mommy or daddy or family members or of some sort, or your former teammates, or you're not doing it to impress someone, not even yourself. You're not trying to prove yourself here. You're finding why you do it in your cave, in your hermit cave, when you are being, it feels like being sentenced to isolation for you to realize why this teamwork didn't work out, right? So um, you've been dealing with this idea of teamwork like for a few moons now. That's why I'm always getting stuck on that narrative. But it makes sense for a Capricorn is more often than not about building something in this reality. Like it's the devil energy for a reason. And I love the devil. I mean, it's not a bad card. It's no. It is more, it is appreciating God's creation, right? That's what the devil is. It's like, well, Coke is a wonderful thing, isn't it? You know, it's like, yeah, let's go party and get wasted because that's what like life is for living. That kind of energy, right? Or even, or maybe like if it's not about partying, right? Because that's more the fiery kind of energy. It's more about achieving something, building something, tangible success. You know, that kind of deal. So that's where you're coming from. But to achieve that, that Page of Wands needs to take his fire to ignite his own lantern in his cave and study, right? So there's something you still need to learn about yourself, like how you are fucking yourself over with your own intention, because that blindsides you to what you actually truly want to do. Like you're neglecting a part of your nature because you want to prove the very thing you have gotten so little credit for in the past, right? And I know that because I'm a Capricorn rising. For me, it's like actually I just want a home and I want to be loved, and I want, like, I'm a Cancer, you know, and I just want like people to be nice and kind to each other. But if I don't manage to fulfill my need for my Capricorn rising to beat the game and accomplish something in life, I feel like wasted potential. So I understand that drive, that need to prove yourself, very much so, right? And it's most likely in a field where you feel you feel like you're not as capable, right? It's like, no, I will show you that I'm whatever, compassionate. Like, let me show you how compassionate I am. Like, no, it's not exactly working like that, right? Um, or for me, it's like, yeah, I'm actually good at like dealing with numbers. Semi. I'm not exactly good with dealing with numbers. I'm like brilliant in dealing with logic. You know, it's like a slightly different game. But I want to prove myself in this world so much, right? So I understand where this fire energy is coming from, especially when it's related to a court card in reverse, also the Queen of Cups in reverse in your family situation, right? So you want to prove it to them that you're able to manage. But to do so, you have to, like, life is kind of shoving you into solitude because it's not, some teamwork is not working out. So you kind of have the feeling like, ah, shit, I got to do it on my own now. The funny thing is, when you do it on your own, you're in a situation where you find out even more than you thought you would find out. You find out a lot about why you're doing it. It's about your true intentions, right? And then you realize, actually, I don't want to impress them. I want to do it because, not even because I want to prove it to myself, but because I know I can do this, because this is making me a better version and a more balanced version of myself. That's why I want to prove myself in an area where I haven't exceeded yet, excelled yet. Um, that that is a more clear perspective on your own inner light, on your own motivation. And that's what you're gaining from this, right? That's the healing, that's the temperance right here. It could be uncomfortable looking at this, right? Because you're so focused on trying to make shit work that you could miss it in the process, right? You could miss the very reason why you're in this solitude cave, is to take a look at yourself. And in a most positive way, because you're an amazing human being, right? It's like, the only thing is that somehow there's a passion that is driving you, that is coming from something in your uh, in your house of birth being out of whack, and if you take a look at that, learn something about that, then your intention moving forward will be that much clearer, and this teamwork's going to work out, you know. So that's why this is talking about the wounds in your life. The Nine of Wands in reverse, talking about the wounded warrior. It's like, this time I'm gonna get it right. I'm gonna show you. Yeah, that's not exactly the energy you want to have going into something, right? Or going through something. Let's see what you attach to in the spot of the seven. Oh yeah, more ego stuff, right? No, it's gonna be fine. The spot of the seven is the high priestess in reverse, so that, like, you feel like your intuition has not been serving you well. You feel like rational decisions have gotten you, have served you better in your life. What you have to realize is that they're often come together. If you're well grounded, they come together, right? So, that high priestess has also a different connotation also, because we're talking about mommy issues here, right? So the high priestess in reverse is bullshit advice, right? It's you finding your inner light and then finding that you were listening to a high priestess that largely determined your set of moral values that actually didn't have moral values of integrity themselves, So you've been basing your passion on like a wrong set of values. You've been heading to the wrong high priestess. You've been idealizing the Wizard of Oz, that kind of deal. So that's why you're kind of in a clinch with your intuition, because you're driven by passion or by intuition, really, and you're attached to a set of values that is not exactly serving you well in this particular regard. Now let's see how this is answered, though. Underneath the Hermit, it's probably the thing you find out that's going to lead you. Yes, it's going to lead you to abundance. That is my Two of Swords in reverse. That's my card for letting go of coping mechanisms, right? So realizing the very basic arguments you use to, like, motivate yourself or whatever, that have been with you for a long time. The Two of Swords is a card for shielding your heart, but also blinding yourself to the possibilities. And if you go into a hermit cave to take a look at your mommy and daddy issues, like the moral values that come from a Queen of Cups being out of whack in your past, right? It doesn't exactly have to be mommy and daddy issues. Can be a partnership relationship, but guess what? Every partnership in your life is determined by your mommy and daddy issues. So kind of the same thing in it. right? So if you're pushed into that cave to take a look at this shit, and then a Two of Swords in reverse pops up, it's like you're letting go of convictions you were holding on for a long time. You thought they were shielding you, but they were actually blinding you to, and they were blinding you to realizing your own true nature, your own path, to realizing how this careful, very structuring, kind of nerdy energy is a part of yourself. Like right now, you're probably idealizing a Leo as the perfect leader, but you have a different leadership style as a Capricorn, right? You're a different leader. You're providing insight and oversight. You're not just blindly like telling people what to do. Your goal is to kind of to educate them to make the right decisions for themselves, right? And that is like you have a different leadership style, and you're finding that out. You're finding out where this is coming from, and like, and how are you finding it out? Well, taking a good look at your scars. But therefore, life is shoving you into that cave, that stagnation, where you're like, yeah, but I wanted to move so bad, and life be like, yeah, if you want to move, you got to put on your shoes first, you know. Right? So where are they? Have you cleaned up your room so you can find your shoes? Like, okay, this is a stupid metaphor, but you catch my drift, right? It's like, if you want this, you have to go find your light, find why you want this, right? So you can actually get it, because karma doesn't work just because you want something. It is because you know you deserve it, and you want to invest into this because you think it's the right thing to do, and not just because you want to prove yourself, right? So, and this proving yourself is coming from a high priestess that is in reverse. So it's a set of values, someone whispering in your ear, right? That is not exactly serving you well, and basically making you doubt yourself. But you're leaving that behind through this transition phase. It's going to be beautiful, especially coming out of that, because after a phase like this, you're going to feel so freed, right? So freed from this freed from this ambition. What's gonna remain though is determination, right? It's a little different. That ambition can burn you and others in the process, and that determination is like a little more subtle, a little more wise. It's just like, I am like committed to doing this right, and not just like burning through it, rushing through it, right? And the spot of the six, which you're gaining from these energies here, balancing out. So Five of Swords in reverse. Oof, yeah. Five of Swords is making up your mind, right? And that also means cutting out people, or like, my stomach is rebelling. You don't have to cut out people. You have to change mindsets. That like you're reprogramming your mind, right? And if you have that insight from a high priestess in reverse and the Two of Swords in reverse, that is that moment when you're like, that's why I always thought this and that, because they kind of gave me the impression that this and that was the right thing to do. But actually, I realize now I have to Five of Swords that shit out of my life. That doesn't exactly mean Five of Swordsing out the person out of your life, but it means that whatever they were telling you is not a set of rules you want to live by, because it makes you feel like a nine of wands. It makes you feel hurt and incapable, right? And there is where that ambition of trying to prove yourself is rooted in, and that's not healthy, right? So they probably meant well, but they did still somehow corrupt you in a way that you were trying to prove them wrong or right or whatever, right? Because they themselves were out of whack. Whatever they were basing their emotionality on didn't work, right? They were not able to be a true Queen of Cups. They were Queen of Cups in reverse to you. So the idea of having to fight for love, that is where proving yourself is coming from. The idea of either trying to redeem yourself for love you've gotten, right? Or trying to work for that love because you never gotten it any other way. It's either one extreme, you know. That's where this is coming from. But the cool thing is you're realizing it because you got a lot of shit in your manifestation, right? Like a five of swords and five of swords, two of swords, nine of wands, and a high priestess. But the good news is it's all in reverse, right? Especially with the high priestess relating to a queen of cups in reverse. That is like, that is good that it's in reverse, right? High priestess in reverse is a bullshit set of values, especially when it's linked to a queen of cups in reverse, two of swords, five of swords. That's all like changing your mindset. Your core belief systems are changing. And that's cool because what you're manifesting here is having those insights along the way. Even though you wanted to move for something, six of swords in reverse, to move there and to get to a more peaceful place, to find your peace of mind, you have to clear out the thought patterns that always are causing disturbances, right? So that's what you're doing right now, and you're gonna realize something very profound about your own intention, why you're doing what you're doing, and it has to do with a source of love in your life, or someone that was supposed to take care of you, or was like maybe an authority figure or an inspiring person, but their set of moral values was out of whack. And it's not exactly easy to walk away from something like that when it's inspired you so much. And to also be thankful because it made you the person you are today, right? So it's not exactly like, it's not all of it bullshit. It's just you're realizing at a certain point it won't take you no further, right? Or it's corrupted your intention in a way that it's not healthy anymore. And you're learning that. You are in a hermit phase. Take a good look, listen and learn. Like that's the patience part is like be patient with yourself, be forgiving with them, right? And trust that once you're ready, you're gonna know, you're gonna feel it, right? And that's gonna be that moment when you're not doubting yourself anymore and trying to fight that fire with fire, but that's going to be the moment when you realize you're ready now because you feel more lighthearted about it. You feel capable, right? You know, if like you know what has hindered you in the past, you're not going to make that same mistake twice, right? Because you eradicated the source of the problem. That's going to feel so freeing. So Capricorn, right? Even if this sounds like there's a lot going on, it seems like this is the resolution of this. And it has been with you for a long time. This is a resolution that you've been secretly waiting for. You ask the universe why, you know, and the universe be like, that's why, take a look at it. So now take a look at it, enjoy that this is pivotal. This is something that is going to feel real good once you're through with this, especially, it's going to feel good for a long time because it's setting your morals back up, right? It's just like it's going to make you listen to your intuition because that's the moment when you realize, actually, I knew something was up all along. That's the moment you realize, like, ah, shit, two of swords in reverse, five of swords in reverse. Like, I actually, when I'm true to myself, I knew that this wasn't right all along. I just tried to convince myself I had to, you know, because of the scars. You're not going to do that anymore. Capricorn, if that resonated with you, drop a comment, like, and subscribe. Enjoy this process because it's a sacred fucking process and you're going to come out so much more capable, right? It's going to be amazing. Check out daywalker-bali.com, see how amazing I am. And yeah, and enjoy this energy. Thank you so much for listening. I love you.